I don't know about you guys, but recently basketball has been a little bit bland to me. It's kind of just the same old in the NBA, and for some reason this year, there are no hyped basketball recruits. All the top players out of high school aren't getting as much hype as previous years. The days of Jalen Green and LaMelo Ball being in high school have finally ended, and it just seems like most of these recruits aren't getting the hype they deserve. So recently I've been rewatching a lot of high school games, and even some of the 2019 AAU, digging deeper into players and looking further ahead into younger classes. While watching some of these games, a player has recently caught my eye. A player I was not too high on a few months ago, and didn't really see the high upside everybody expected in him. But as I watched more of Patrick Baldwin Jr.'s games, I truly realized he might be one of the greatest shooting prospects of all time. So let's look into that. I'll be the first to admit, I ended the summer of 2019 too low on Patrick Baldwin Jr. I watched a lot of the Phenom U highlights and was left feeling that Baldwin was somewhat forgettable, not leaving his imprint on the game in any areas besides shooting, which he is obviously very good at and his best attribute. I didn't really buy his handle or self-creation, and I was worried about the lack of big man stuff for a player that stands around 6'10" in shoes. Though his overall efficiency was great, over 50% of his scoring plays were in transition and spot-up shots. Simply put, he seemed teammate dependent in my eyes. With that being said, I was very impressed with his off-ball abilities and selflessness. So I didn't think he was bad by any means. In fact, I thought he was very good, a top 10 player in the class. I just didn't see the upside others might have. His size and shooting combination is unarguably elite, and he has a good post-up game that resembles Klay Thompson. However, he is nearly 5 inches taller than Klay Thompson, so it's a little odd to mold your post-up game after a shooting guard. But that's besides the point. He's a smart cutter and a good off-ball mover. Along with that, I thought he was a solid defender and good ball mover. I just truly didn't see the superstar upside. Fast forward a few months and I have a completely different outlook on this player. Baldwin Jr. has been playing at Hamilton High School, and he's been the go-to guy, garnering all the opposition's attention. He's in a completely different setting, something we likely would have seen this summer in EYBL, but we didn't get the chance to. One important note is high school competition is not the same as EYBL, so we have to adjust thoughts for performance during high school. But Hamilton played plenty of teams with D1 talent, so we truly aren't talking about scrubs here. Anyways, a different role was important to see. The ability to watch guys in different settings and different contexts where they are forced into different roles is important, especially at a younger age. And after watching some of Baldwin's games now, I was able to correct my earlier mistake. Patrick Baldwin Jr. is a stud. During his high school game, Baldwin was much more of a ball handler. His ability to navigate a pick and roll, self-create in ISO situations, and handle in transition was much more notable than in AAU. He looked like more of a shot maker and shot creator rather than just a shooter. This might sound a little bit crazy, but Baldwin Jr. is one of the best shooting prospects I have ever seen, factoring in his size. We're talking about a player who is 6'10" and just shot 35% from FIBA 3-point range on 111 attempts as a 16-year-old in the EYBL, and also shot 85% from the free throw line last summer. An important note is to mention that a good AAU 3-point percentage is lower than what we consider good for a college or pro. 35% on his difficulty is very good. We just saw that huge jump Tatum made during this season as a volume 3-point shooter, and how much it opened up and bettered his offensive game. The value of having somebody at that height being such a great shot maker is obvious. Now it's to be determined if Baldwin Jr. will be that level of a shot maker or have the same separation ability. But as a pure shooter, he's on a track that is hard to match. Another thing he was able to show more of with the ball in his hands was passing. He showed good vision finding shooters off the dribble, dump-offs on drives, and out of double teams in the post. Defensively, he showed awareness as a team defender and some rim protection ability, thanks to his size. Baldwin Jr. looked like more of a complete player in this setting when he wasn't the younger guy surrounded by potential NBA talent on the floor. A player who in my eyes always had unlimited potential off the ball, now is more talented on ball than I initially realized. It's unfortunate we missed out on a summer of Baldwin Jr. as the guy versus AAU competition, but seeing his off-ball talent was helpful last summer. In a more ball-dominant NBA, the ability to have players that can move off ball well and space the floor is an obvious need. But the guys who can do that and create on ball have elite ceilings. And Patrick Baldwin Jr. has that elite ceiling. The ability to either be a 6'10 small forward or a high-level perimeter player at the power forward position has the possibility to cause havoc with mismatches. But anyways guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to like and comment and subscribe if you're not already. And as always guys, deuces.